I'm sure glad I go over these books again because I sure see a lot more each and every time I go over a book. You get more out of it. That's just the way the books work, right? And I'll include the Bible on that. You just got to know the fakery in it. Was made by man and spirit. It's a mix of truth and lies, and it doesn't give it to you to figure it out in one read. Anyways, I'm going to show some videos. It's no longer my favorite book. My favorite book is The Gnostic because it just tells it to you. Okay, so yesterday the Pope put out a thing to all the churches and everybody. How are we going to fight angels, demons, and Jesus? That's what he put out yesterday. As then after that, then this morning I woke up and there's a video of the destroyer angels being sent, okay? How you doing, brother? Oh, what? It's all good, man. I just wanted to talk. It didn't really matter. Destroyer angels. She calls them reaper angels. She's right. So no, it's not going to give it to me. I hate when it does that. So let's find. I hope I sent that out. There they are. They go into people. The destroyers. And those are because they're red. Yeah, and they're swearing, so I gotta watch that. Let's see if I can get this and then pause it. Why does it let me do it one video and not another? And then I go to open and it doesn't give it to me. Yeah, it's all good. And then the roars. Now they say our electricity and the power is going to go out. Nah, that's a bunch of baloney. This is called God pouring out the Spirit. It lets me do it with that one. What's it doing? They say it's the sun ejecting a coronal mass. Yeah. Well, and the last one happened, the Carrington event. Well, nobody had anything to video it, and they didn't even know what things were. Oh, there it is. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay.
Am I losing my mind here? Because let me explain something to y'all, because this is the consensus, at least on TikTok. God isn't real. Jesus isn't real. None of this is real. Well, if it wasn't real, why would one of the most established churches and religious organizations start preparing guidelines for apparitions and other supernatural phenomena? Can you explain that? If it's not real, why are they creating these guidelines for how to deal with the not real? I mean, look, apparitions are appearances or communication with divine beings such as saints, angels, or Christ himself. It's right there. If you want to read the article, you know what to do, right? Well, if you don't, click the link in my profile, go to the articles tab, and read it for yourself. By the way, you don't have to buy anything, subscribe, register, or do anything. It's literally a couple of clicks. So don't come here saying, where's the fucking article? I just fucking told you.
Sorry, guys. I didn't realize I forgot that he swore in it. But anyways, you're going to hear it anyway, no matter where you go. So they're telling you to prepare for Jesus. Well, you're not going to see it with your dang eyes anyway. Well, you can. If you look up and you see these angels and stuff coming down, then you know it's an eye. All right, so we're going to get into Enoch here. People aren't going to be ready. So, let's get my pen out. So, and thence I went to another place. Remember, he just finished talking about hell. He saw it all. He saw everything. And these I went to another place, and he showed me the west of another great mountain of hard rocks, 4 beautiful places, and there were the deep and the wide places, perfectly smooth, and as smooth as something which rolls, and deep as black to look at it. Then Raphael answered one of the holy angels who was with me, and he said unto me, These hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirit of the souls of the dead should assemble therein. Yea, and all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, until the appointed periods, till the period appointed, till the great judgment comes upon them. And I saw, and these ones are released before right now what you see going on in the skies, the 2 videos I showed you, of the children of men who were dead, and their voice went forth to heaven and made suit. Then I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and he said unto him, The spirit whose voice goes forth and maketh suit. And he answered me, saying, This is the spirit which went forth from Abel, who his brother Cain slew. And he makes his suit against him until his seed is destroyed. It cries out from the earth, from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from among the seed of men, the dark seed. And therefore, at the time, so if you're murdered, you go to a different realm. Okay? Those are the martyrers. And when that realm gets full, it's time. And asked, because there's a numbered mount, and asked regarding him, regarding the judgment of all, why is one separated from the other? And he answered me and said unto me, these have been made that the spirit of the dead might be separated. The spirit of the dead, that is your flesh, your natural flesh, that the why are two made one? Why two in the field, one grinding at the mill, and the other one's taken and one's left? Is separating the tare out of the wheat. They don't teach that right at all. I don't hear anybody ever teach that right. And such a division has been made for the spirit of righteousness that is in you. The spirit of righteousness comes from the top, and it works you down here. That's separating you from the evil part of you, the natural spirit, in which there is bright spring of water, because it's hooked to it all, not water you drink. And such has been made for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth. They don't go anywhere. And judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. No, they search the earth to find someone else to go into, preferably a son or a family member or a grandson or a cousin. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain till the great day of judgment and punishment. See, they don't leave the earth. They may go down into the Hades of it, but they don't leave it. Torment of those who curse forever, and retribution for their spirits. There he shall bind them forever. They're bound in flesh forever. So if they go to one flesh, they just go into their son, and he becomes what they were. See, when they go into someone else, they've now been, that is them. And such a division has made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction when they were slain in the days of sinners. Such has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous, but sinners. So they don't go anywhere. They go and find dry bones, okay, which usually is a relative. And that relative is now taken on a different spirit, being operated by the same one, because it is that one. You see? It hasn't been resurrected, it's been put into another body. Go and take a man or woman, which one you ever want. If they are black seed, then that's just them going back into a different body. Incarnation. Incarnated in another one. He takes on what his father does. You did what your fathers did. What's a father? That's you, the one that's been here since the beginning. You have to walk the earth for 500 years. No matter what spirit you are, you walked it. So you might have done it 2-3 times. I can't tell you that. So who were complete in transgression. And of the transgressors, they shall be companions. But their spirit shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. Their spirit's not going to be slain until it's blotted out. I blessed thee, the Lord of glory, and said, blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, that ruleth forever. From thence I went to another place to the west of the ends of the earth, and I saw a burning fire, which ran through, resting and paused not from its course day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, saying, what is this which rests not? Then Reguel, a good angel, One of the holy angels who was with me answered and said to me, This course of fire which thou hast seen is the fire in the west, which persecutes all the luminaries of heaven. So if you're from heaven, you will be prosecuted. That's why it's here, to strengthen you through prosecution, so that you can love and not hate. It teaches you a lot when you're prosecuted. It teaches you to keep your lips zipped when you need to. When you need to speak out and say that's false doctrine, the Lord will tell you in your spirit to tell them, I've done it. Or he will tell you to leave that person alone because he's a newbie. He doesn't know yet. That's what it does with me. Oh, yeah, look at the sky. We're on fire right now. Out west of Grand Prairie. But they're doing it again. And he will burn her with fire. And there'll be fire in odd places coming out of nowhere. Of course, I knew this was going to happen because the last few years they've been doing it, right? Really bad fires. You can barely see, you can cut the smoke with a knife. And thence I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire, which burnt day and night. And when I went beyond, I saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing from each other. Each mountain is a spirit, a high spirit, an archon, could be an archon or an angel. And the stones thereof were magnificent and beautiful. Stones come from a mountain. We are the stones of God's mountain. Magnificent as a whole, and glorious in appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, one founded on the other, and the 3 towards the south, one upon another, and deep, rough ravines. No one of these could be joined with any other. And the 7 mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in the height, resembling the seat of the throne, and the fragrant trees encircled the throne. And amongst them was a tree such as I never yet smelt, was any amongst them, nor were others like it. Well, you can figure out who that is. That's Jesus on his throne. And when you smell, you don't smell when you're a ghost. It's to see how beauty and the glory of it, right? It had a fragrance beyond all fragrances. And it's beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm tree. Then I said, How beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and the leaves are fair, and it blooms very delightful in appearance. Jesus and the body are the leaves. Angels. Then answered Michael, one of the holy and honored angels, who was with me, and was their leader. And I said unto me, Enoch, why didst thou ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree, and why didst thou wish to learn the truth? Then I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered me, saying, This high mountain which thou hast seen, whose summit is like that of the throne of. It's a tree of life. He is a part of the tree of life. It's Jesus. God is his throne, where the holy and great one, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for the fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and the holy. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. That's what's happening now. Because we need it in this time. We need to extra light because we're in extra darkness. Given to the righteous and holy, and its fruit shall be for food for the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord and the eternal King. Then it shall rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the holy place shall they enter. And its fragrance shall be in their bones. It goes into you. It's taking over. The fragrance, the truth, the knowledge, and the wisdom is taking over your entire body. It's not a smell, it's the light filling you up. And they shall live long life on earth, such as thy fathers lived. Did you hear that? Well, 67 years to 100 years isn't long. You see, your spirit has been jumping into bodies just like theirs does. Incarnate. Ours goes into a new one. Theirs just goes in and does what their father does. Sometimes it can go into a new one as well. So depends if it's been picked by, because God picks, the Father picks each person that soul is going to enter in has been chosen. Many are chosen, or many are called, but few are chosen. Okay? So in their days shall the sorrow, no plague or torment or calamity touch them. Well, it's going to touch you, but only your flesh, because it's an illusion. It hasn't touched your virgin spirit, which is 144. Someone was on teaching about falsely again this morning. The 144,000 spirits are the only ones on the earth today that have a righteous virgin. Okay? That's why there's so little at the end, because the whole world is turned into evil. All the evil seeds are here, which outnumber us 1 to 10,000. 10,000 could be around you, and one could be like you. So then, blessed I God, glory the eternal King, who hath prepared such things for the righteous, and hath created them, and promised to give to them. It's a promise. That's why he kept a part of you up there. That promise won't fail. So, and you will walk in the footsteps that were put for you there if you were a chosen one and called. There's a difference. Many are called. Every single person on this earth was called, but they ignored their calling. You didn't. You heard it. Whether it be for being beat to death like me, or through somebody else, or through a dream, many different ways you were called. He came into my room and he called my name out, literally. And then 5-6 years later, he changed it. He gave me my eternal name. So, and I went from thence into the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming. He went to the middle of the earth, not inside the earth. He went to the heart of the people. And then the trees are, they're not going to wither. You may stop and do something wrong, and your tree may stop growing, but it's never going to wither. When you come back from that sin, you're going to keep blooming. You just stop the process. Of a dismembered tree, we've been dismembered from the tree, but we're not apart from it. Just part of us came down. And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain, to the east, there was a stream, and it flowed toward the south. The river. You are a river. You are a stream flowing forth to other people, whether it be south, east, west, or north. Underneath you is a stream, not fire. Underneath them stands fire. And I saw towards another mountain higher than this. And between them a deep, narrow ravine. It is also ran stream underneath the mountain. See, it got deeper. As it grew, there was more water coming out, more fruit coming out. Closer to the steps of heaven. You ravine so the fire cannot devour you. That's all it's talking about. The stream of light, not river. And there's another mountain. You are going to become a mountain by pitting out the fiery mountains, the evil. It grows your tree, a mountain. And as you're growing, underneath you is growing roots. Same thing as stream. The stream gets deeper underneath you so that the fire can't touch you. You're becoming less in sin, less in sin. Less one step away from hell. Because you're getting bigger, you're going up. That's the stream underneath you. It's becoming more pitted, more rooted, more fruited. That's all it means. More light, further away from fire. Because there's more water underneath you to stop that fire. It doesn't mean that. It means you're growing. You're being your roots are growing, and they're keeping you planted in the root that you came from. And it's easier to say no to sin and easier not to do it. Easier to stay away from the fire. And to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former and small elevation, and a ravine deep and dry between them, and another deep and dry ravine. It's dry, has no water. Was at the extremities of the three mountains, and the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and these trees were not planted upon them. Their seed wasn't planted in. It's not a good one. It has dry, it's withered already before born. And it's smaller than you because you will overcome those mountains, those evil fiery mountains. They're little mountains. Yours grows, theirs doesn't. It has no water. It's going to be twice plucked up by the roots. And then I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine. Yea, I marveled very much. See, that's very hard to understand unless you have the Holy Spirit. Unless you know these key words of water, mountain, trees, animals, seeds. They're all codes. It doesn't actually mean different animals. It means different souls. Same with the seed. Same with the mountain. It could be a big mountain growing tall with lots of deep pitted ravines of water, of spirit, because you're being planted. You're being established. That's why it's a bigger ravine than a new Christian comes in and he has a tiny ravine of water. Until he starts giving out fruits, then he needs more water. So that's what your angel does. It gives you more fruits by putting more water under, because you need more, because you're growing bigger. You're becoming a big mountain, bigger over the little ones inside of you. So, and I marveled, Jay. Then I said, these books are very hard to understand, and people are misinterpreting them big time. Everything's spiritual. So if you look at it, it's not a physical mountain. And if you look at it, it's not a physical river. It's life giving water, spirit, light, truth, knowledge, wisdom. And as your wisdom grows, your mountain becomes more established, more rooted from underneath you as from above. Less of the evil, more fruit, more truths. It doesn't mean mountain. Like tree, you grow to a full tree from a seed. What does a tree grow to? When it's a baby grass, it's a new Christian. That's why it says, whoa, don't burn the grass. It's not talking about grass. It's talking about the baby Christians. They don't have a big enough ravine. They don't have enough water underneath them. So don't put fire on them. And that's what I was talking about earlier. He will show me which ones not to put fire on. But every single woman on there, I'm putting fire on because they're just going to do it, especially ones that have 600,000 people. That's why I put the fire on it, because it the truth on it, the good fire. See, there's a good fire and a bad fire. The good fire is light. The bad fire is burns. Okay. Then I said, what the object for what object is this blessed land, which the entirety filled with trees, and he accursed valley, and this accursed valley between. That's separating. You live in that valley of the shadow of death, and it's between you and life. That's what he's talking about. Because you walk in the valley of the shadow of death. There's a valley between you and the good that you have to cross, go many times over that valley. So then Uriel, the one holy angel who was with me, answered and said, these accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. They're in the valley because there's no troubles, there's no trials, but we have a valley because we walk in the valley of the shadow of death. But our valley gets thinner and thinner, comes closer and closer, so it's not a valley anymore. When you come over all the things you got, there's no valley between you and the Holy Spirit anymore. It shrinks, but theirs gets wider. Their path gets being more narrow. These ones are cursed forever because they are the valley of the shadow of death. They were a dark seed born in, and they think, well, nothing. They don't think anything is by the Father that happens to them. It's a curse forever because they don't go through punishment like we do. Okay? They do at the end. Some are thriving and living and they got millions of dollars. They're not walking in the valley of the shadow of death. At least they don't think they are. Because Satan's going to make them think that they're having everything because they're following him. So they give them everything of the earth. Satan gives them everything of the earth. That's why rich people usually aren't going to make it. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than these valley people that are walking in the easy. It's not easy for Christians, is what he's saying. These ones, valleys, only a valley, because it's easy for them here, because this is their paradise. But for you, it's not easy. You fought to cross the valley many times to shorten the gap between the valley and the Father. Here shall all the accursed be gathered together, who utter with their lips against the Lord, against anyone speaking the truth. They're now against the Lord. And that's mostly Christians. Lord's unseemly words of his glory speak hard things. Yeah, they're hard to them. And they keep coming on, only Jesus can save me. And they got 600,000 followers wearing a cross. They're fake, man. I can see. Why are you playing somebody else, letting him speak and acting like you're speaking for him? That's what they do with Marmar. They put him on and he's saying, only one Lord. And they're faking, they're speaking like him, but he's the one speaking. They're not speaking with their own voice. They're speaking with, yeah, they are, with Satan's voice. They be gathered together, and here they shall be their place of judgment here on the earth. He just told you. These valleys are dark seeds. It's an easy route for them on this earth. They get riches. They can buy whatever they want. They don't get attacked. They don't go through the pain, suffering, and afflictions that we do. It's an easy road for them. But our easy road comes after. And their easy road never comes. The day that never comes. Because after, their road ain't easy. So in the last days there shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment. That's why it's got to come. That's why when I see one of these ones with 600,000 women, a woman teaching false doctrine, every single woman on TikTok is a false teacher. Every single one of them. I'm supposed to have 2,500 before I can speak on TikTok live. I've seen these ones with 1,000 speaking. Why? Because they're speaking lies. So it's easy for them to get out lies, because truth can be hard to understand. If you don't have the Spirit, you're not going to understand it. And I've been here sent to help people understand these books. My sister can't even understand this book. Yeah, I have it and I read it, but I don't understand it. And yet my mom came on and told me that's an easy book. I understand the whole thing from end to end. Impossible. It's like the books. You read it more and you get more understanding. But I've read it many times, listened to it many times, and taught it many times. I still don't understand the full thing. So how could you off of one get-go? Because you're on a valley and you think you can understand, but you're not understanding. You're misinterpreting. And it took a long time to learn these secrets: the seed, the tree, the water, the fruit, all the key words. It took a long time to understand what they were meaning. The different animals. Doesn't mean animals. There's no animals in heaven. It means the different souls. The grass, the plant, the tree, the seed, the fire, the water, the valleys. It took a long time. The mountains, the desert. The desert is a dry place. If you've been seated in the desert, you're one of these valleys. You're a dark seed. It's easy for you to proceed here. I got them. Even the government stole $10,000 from me, and they stole another 1,000 this year. And they want to do a search on me. I'm a poor guy. What are you going to search a poor guy's bank account and what he's making? What about the rich people? Well, they're on the valley. It's going to be made easy for them. They didn't get stolen the money. It's hard for us to prosper anytime, especially in this end time. So speculate of the righteous judgment in presence of the righteous forever. You are being righteously judged on the earth. Judgment comes to the house of the Lord first, because you're not going to be judged up there. For eternity, you're going to live in no judgment, whilst they live in the lake of fire. Here shall the merciful bless of the Lord glory, the eternal King, in the days of the judgment over the former. They shall bless him for the mercy in accordance with with which he has assigned them their lot. He has assigned you all your fruits, all your bad, all your evil, all your good, all your blessings, all your words that come out of you has been assigned your lot. You got a lot. And it's been promised to you before the earth was created to comfort you when you come down. Your comforter. Then I blessed the Lord of glory, and I set forth his glory and looted him gloriously. We're looting the Lord. We're looting the angels. We're taking our gold that was our lot. Whatever we learn from a book, we're stolen the gold. A good thief steals the words just to give it out. It's not stealing. It's just giving the fruit. Taking the fruit from the treasures above, taking the gold from the treasures above, and giving it out freely. So, and thence I went towards the east into the midst of the mountain range of the desert, and I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants, and water gushing forth from above. What's it talking about? You're born in to a desert. But these trees are growing in the desert, not withering. Because you live in a desert. You get it? That's the good desert, bad desert. That's how I learned all this stuff. It's just kept reading. And I wasn't on, what are you talking mountain? What are you talking mountain? Every time something like that came up to me, I was questioning it. The Lord answered and smacked me over the head with the fruit. And then I learned what it's talking about. And you're in a wilderness. And all around you is a desert, but you're flourishing and they're drying up in that desert. Everybody's born into the valley, the shadow of death. In a desert, you're born in darkness. The desert and wilderness is this earth. And you live in a desert, which is your flesh. But you're not withering. You got lots of fruit and lots of water. That's what it's talking about. The range of the desert, and I saw the wilderness, and it was solitary and full of trees, because we're all in the body, and full of his trees and plants. That's not a full growing. And grass. It's not adding that into. And the water gushed forth from above, because it's raining on you. Spiritual water, fruits, which is making your tree grow. Their tree doesn't get that rain. It gets rain fire down on it. It has no leaves. It's withering. From the time of its birth, it withers. That's all it does. So above, rushing like a copious water course, which flowed. It never stops flowing for you. The light is the water. You see? Water is nothing but light. The blood is nothing but light. The bread is nothing but light. Truth, more deep truths. Eat and drink how do you drink his blood and eat his flesh? They don't get that. I do. By stealing of the gold, which was placed for you anyways, from the spirits, you're giving it out. You're not keeping it in. This is my gold. No, I bought this gold for you guys. The Lord gave me those books full from one end of the shelf to the other, not for me. It's the gold he gave me. He showed me the dream. Towards the northwest, it caused clouds and dews to ascend on every side. Angels and water, dews dropping on you slowly. Because if you were made whole and you sinned once, like Ananias and Sapphira, you'd give up the ghost. So you have to get strong enough before you overcome something. Then more dew pours out on you. More spiritual water and truth, knowledge and wisdom. That's all it's talking about. And same with the smell. Like to me, I always say it smells rotten to me. It doesn't smell. It looks, it sounds. I can see through it. So in there, I went to another place in the desert and approached to the east of the mountain range, and I saw aromatic trees exhaling the fragrance and frankincense of the mirth. And the trees also were similar to the almond tree. And beyond these, it's different groups, all in one body, though. And beyond these, I went afar to the east, and I saw another place, a valley full of water. And there was a tree, the color and the fragrant color of fragrant trees, such as the mastic. And on the sides of those valleys, I saw fragrant cinnamon. And beyond these, proceeded to the east, growing trees, lots of cinnamon, lots being watered. And I saw other mountains amongst them that were groves of trees. We are the trees. And there flowed forth from them nectar, which is named Ceria and Galbanum. I don't know. Galbium. And beyond these mountains, see, each and every one has different fruits to give out, has different cinnamons, has different spices. They were given the same sort of path, but different fruits. Some are given, there's groups given. There's an end time group, which we are, to give the end time fruits. There's different ones teaching different things, because there's many teachings to give. And there's certain trees that can teach it all. But that takes lots of study. I can teach all the books, but I don't know them all. I'm learning with them. But I've studied, read, listened, taught over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So I pounded my brain with the good fruits. Therefore, I can release good fruits, not false teaching, but not of everything. And there flowed forth from nectar different teaching, which is named whatever. And beyond these mountains, I saw another mountain to the east. These are the tribes made to give what they give when they give. Certain people will teach end time. That's us. But you also need one of those trees that can go into any book and teach it to help along with you so you can understand what it's talking about. We give to the ones that are lesser in spirit, more poor in spirit. Do we teach them these tricks? And now they can read the books themselves. That's what an Enoch does. Okay? That's what a Jesus does. They have all the books. I don't have them all. I may have them all, but not like them. They understood them from birth. Okay? Not me. I had to earn that. I had to get from each and every different tree all the fruits to add up to what I teach today. See, I ate from every tree of good, not evil. I already did that one before. So I got some fruit from every tree so that I could give out. That's why I got so many of them. I don't even have them all there. I'm missing a few of them. Oh, I shouldn't lose where I am. Uh-oh. And I saw another mountain amongst them. See, it's amongst them. In the groves of the trees. And there flowed forth from them nectar. Okay, that's where I was. Good. See, different fruits that comes from the same tree is different books. Okay, is a different father, not father, but brother. that gave those fruits out. When you go to read another book, you're taking in a different nectar, different cinnamon, different spices. But it comes from the same. You're learning all the fruits and all the spices. If you learn all the fruits and all the spices, you'll be full. You get yourself full that way. You got to know it all, almost. That's why they die of a lack of knowledge. Because they put it into one book that's mixed with fake teaching. More so for them. It's a trap for them. The Bible is a trap. If you don't have the other books, it literally is. It's set up to be a trap, but if you know how to read it, oh my God, it's got some of the most powerful things, okay? I don't burn my Bible. I use it as a reference book. And another mountain on the earth whereon were aloe trees. Aloe is healing. It heals wounds, okay? And all the trees, that aloe tree was one that could heal wounds. Well, if you got all the word, you can heal many wounds. Okay? I don't have all of it. So, and all the trees were full of a hard substance like almonds, and the taste of that fruit lit. When one took of that fruit, you see, there's all different kinds of fruit for you to pick out. You can't just read one book because that's only one fruit. You got a taste of them all because that keeps you nourished. If you eat just meat, you're going to have problems. If you eat just vegetables, you're going to have problems. If you eat just fruit, you're going to have problems. You need to have a balance of different word. Okay? That's what the Gnostic gospel is. It's a different cinnamon. It's a different aloe. It's a different fruit. That's all he's talking about. Was better than the fragrant odors. To eat it is better. To read it or to listen to it. It's taking that fruit in for nurturing. It nurtures your body. If you ate fruits, seeds, meats, certain kinds of fats, and almonds are good for you. If you eat of all those things, then you keep your body healthy. So turn that around as spiritually. He's not talking about fruits. Spirits don't eat almonds. Spirits don't eat anything but manna. That's the word. And after these fragrant odors, it's very hard to understand. This is where it mixes people up. What do you mean? What's a mountain? What's a tree? What's a fruit? What's a grass? What's the mountain? What's the wilderness? You're in a wilderness. And you're born in the desert just to flourish. The rest just wither because they don't take of any fruit. The Christians take of one book right now. There's barely anybody teaching. This is their book that they think is going to get them to heaven. If that's all you got, you're eating one fruit. You need to eat fruits, meats, vegetables, almonds, seeds. You need to eat all those to make it complete and full of knowledge. They're rejecting them. They're rejecting the fruits, the aloes, the almonds, the seeds, and they're taking one fruit that's mixed with lies. That's why they're not growing. They're coming on after a year of listening and maybe reading a little bit here and a little bit there, think they got the Bible. And they come up against the ones that do because they say that's not true because it didn't come out of this book. You're not eating of all the trees that are there. We are the trees. We are to eat from all of them just to find out one. If one, what?